A Night on Hadrian's Wall. It is the year 128. The reign of the Emperor Hadrian. The northernmost frontier of the Roman Empire. The wall stretches for 73 miles across the width of Britain, from the River Tyne in the east to the Solway Firth in the west. It is not just a wall. It is a statement. It says, "Here, and no further." This is Rome. Beyond this line lies the unknown, the unconquered, the wild. The wall is 15 feet high in places, 10 feet wide, built of stone and turf by the hands of Roman legionaries. It took 6 years to build. Every mile, there is a fortified gateway. Between the mile castles, 2 turrets provide observation points. To the north, a deep ditch with a mound beyond it. To the south, a military road and a great earthen rampart. It is the most heavily fortified border in the history of the world. And on this cold, damp night, a sentinel named Lucius stands his watch. Lucius is 23 years old. He was born in a small village in northern Italy, the son of a farmer who was the son of a farmer. He joined the legions at 18, as his father did before him, and his grandfather before that. He has served in Gaul, in Germania, and now here, at the edge of the world. He wears the standard armor of a Roman auxiliary soldier, a chain-mail shirt, a bronze helmet with cheek guards, heavy sandals studded with iron nails. His cloak is wool, thick and warm, but the damp of this British winter seeps through everything. He carries a sword on his right hip, a dagger on his left, and a heavy oval shield. His primary weapon, however, is a spear, 8 feet of ashwood with a long iron point. Lucius stands in the turret, looking north. Beyond the wall, the land falls away into darkness. Somewhere out there are the tribes, the Picts, the Romans call them, the painted people. They have been quiet this winter. Too quiet, some of the older soldiers say. But Lucius is young. He does not worry about things that have not happened yet. The night is long. The wind moans along the wall. The torch in the turret gutters and hisses. Lucius stamps his feet to keep them warm. He thinks of home. Of the warm sun of Italy. Of the smell of olive trees and the taste of his mother's bread. He has not been home in 5 years. He does not know when he will go home again. He is not alone, exactly. In the mile castle below, 8 men are sleeping. Every few hours, another sentinel will relieve him. But up here, in the darkness, he is alone with his thoughts and the wind and the endless, patient waiting that is the true occupation of every soldier. The Romans have been in Britain for nearly 200 years. They have conquered the south, subdued the tribes, built cities and roads and aqueducts. But the north has never been truly theirs. The wall is an admission of that fact. It is not a line of conquest. It is a line of separation. It says, "This far, and no further." Beyond this, let the wild things be wild. Lucius hears something. A sound, out in the darkness. He freezes, his hand moving instinctively to the hilt of his sword. He peers into the black void beyond the wall. Nothing. Silence. Perhaps it was an animal. Perhaps it was his imagination. But he stays alert, his senses sharpened by the sudden rush of adrenaline. When the dawn comes, it comes slowly. The blackness softens to grey. The grey brightens to silver. And then the sun, pale and distant, crests the eastern hills. The wall is revealed in all its impossible length, a stone snake winding across the landscape, over hills and through valleys, as far as the eye can see. Lucius watches the sunrise. It is beautiful, in a cold, northern way. The frost sparkles on the stones. The mist rises from the ground. A bird sings somewhere in the distance. And somewhere out there, beyond the wall, the painted people are watching too. They have always been watching. They will always be watching. The wall is here to remind them that Rome is watching back. The trumpet sounds from the Mile Castle below. A new day begins. Another sentinel comes to relieve him. Lucius descends the stone steps, his legs stiff with cold, his eyes heavy with exhaustion. He will eat a bowl of porridge. He will sleep for a few hours. And then, tonight, he will stand his watch again. Such is the life of a sentinel on Hadrian's wall. Days of boredom punctuated by moments of terror. Years of service in a cold land far from home. The empire is built by men like Lucius, ordinary men who stand their watch, who do their duty, who hold the line. The wall still stands today. You can walk along it, through the green hills of Northumberland, and see the remains of the Mile Castles and the turrets. You can stand where Lucius stood and look north into the wild land beyond. The empire is gone. The legions have marched away. But the wall endures. In the quiet of a northern evening, when the wind blows across the hills and the sun sets over the ancient stones, you can almost hear the footsteps of the sentinels. Still walking. Still watching. Still holding the line. The wall stretches for 73 miles, but Lucius knows only his small section of it, the turret where he stands watch, the Mile Castle where he sleeps, the stretch of path he walks each night. He knows every stone, every crack in the mortar, every place where the wind finds its way through. He knows the sounds of the wall at night, the creak of the timbers, the rustle of the grass below, the distant call of an owl. He knows the silence too, the deep, profound silence of the northern wilderness, broken only by the wind and the occasional cry of some unseen animal. Life on the wall is hard. The winters are brutal, months of freezing rain and snow, of short grey days and long black nights. The food is simple: bread, porridge, salted meat, the occasional vegetable from the small garden the soldiers tend behind the fort. The pay is modest. The work is endless: guard duty, patrol, repairs to the wall, training with sword and shield. But Lucius does not complain. He is a Roman soldier. This is what he signed up for. He thinks often of home. Of the warm sun of Italia, so different from this pale northern light. Of the smell of olive trees and rosemary on the hillsides. Of his mother's kitchen, the sound of her voice, the taste of her bread fresh from the oven. He has not seen her in 5 years. He writes letters, though he does not know if they ever reach her. The mail takes months to travel from Britannia to Italia, if it arrives at all. But he writes anyway. It makes him feel connected, somehow, to the life he left behind. The men he serves with come from every corner of the empire. There are Gauls and Germans and Spaniards. There are men from the deserts of Syria and the mountains of Greece. They speak a dozen languages. They worship a dozen gods. But on the wall, they are all Romans. They share the same food, the same duties, the same dangers. They are brothers, in the way that only soldiers can be. At dawn, the trumpet sounds. Another night has passed. The wall still stands. The empire still holds. And Lucius, the sentinel from Italia, is still alive to see the sun rise over the hills of Britannia.